My name is Sheikh Omar Diallo. I will be your MC, and I am the Director for Creative and Performing Arts at the National Center for Arts and Culture. But I am also the Acting Director General of the National Center for Arts and Culture for now. And today we are going to be doing a signing-in ceremony with our partners from Germany, the Hamburg University, who have been helping us to do something in this country which 10 years ago we would have thought it's unimaginable, and that is digitizing the archives of the Gambia, especially the archives and documentations kept inside this wonderful room you see with those valuable informations that are national treasures. Some 2-3 years ago, we had been working with Catherine, who is more or less a very good starter. Oh, thank God that they reminding me, but I'm already getting into the session when I forgot to introduce the members on the high table. Far on my right, I will start with Catherine, and that is Catherine. As I said, we've been working with Catherine for time immemorial. In fact, well before I come to the NCAC, she has been the staff before me, because she had worked since the time of Bakari Sidibe. If you imagine Bakari Sidibe, for some of you who don't know Bakari Sidibe, he is the one who made most of the collections you find in this archive in here, who had done collections on over 5,000 oral traditions and etiquettes found in the Gambia. And since his time and his tenure, Catherine has been coming and going into the Gambia, and he is currently a Gambian, and actually a staff of the National Center for Arts and Culture by virtue. So she is the project director, and actually she had worked a lot to make sure that such projects come into the country, knowing what we have in here. So she has been somebody who has been in between Germany and the Archive Center in here. Next to him, we have Professor Henning Spriber. She is the project coordinator from Hamburg University. Professor is actually the brain behind. He has also been crisscrossing, making research. He's a researcher who has been working around in the Gambia, especially on languages, ethnographies and things like that, and had found interest in the materials or the archival documentations found in this place. And after her work with the previous director, who is Baba Sise, and Catherine, they were able to come up with this project, which she showed to the country. And we did not hesitate, because we know how she treasures and loves what we are doing, and especially what is actually India and Africa as a whole. So he is here to represent, of course, his department, which is the African Language Studies at the Hamburg University. And we will be signing the MOU with him in the name of these two institutions. And right next to me, I have Professor Victor Odu, who is a board member of the National Center for Arts and Culture. And he is also the chairman for the Copyright Research and Documentation Subcommittee, which actually this department falls under. So he is here in his capacity as a board member and as the chairperson for his subcommittee, so that this is his show. So on that note, since we know who are the members of the high table, I would like to invite the owner of this ceremony, for whose subcommittee we are doing this work for today, for him to do it.
Dear participants, well, I am very fortunate to be where I am as chair of the subcommittee. And I was also very privileged to have signed the first MOU in September 2016. And I can say that we have been very pleased, very impressed how the project went on and with the outcome. And of course, if it was not going well, you wouldn't have a second phase or memorandum of understanding. As you know, the euro is not cheap in Europe. And if they give you €1, it means they understand that it's going to yield good result. And so we are very happy that we have come to this stage. And on behalf of the board, I would like to say that the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Culture, is very passionate about this project. And when you talk to him, when you listen to him, and you're serious about anything, then you would put in your very best. And this is why when some of us were reappointed to the board, we thought, well, this was, going to be a continuation. So we look forward to the next 3 years and to much greater results. So on behalf of the board, thank you for coming.
I think, first of all, it is time to give credit to the Gerda Henkel Foundation, who made all this possible. So, as a university, we are just acting on behalf of the Gerda Henkel Foundation, who is still financing the whole project. So it's not, it's run by the University of Hamburg, but the funds come from the Gerda Henkel Foundation. And I want to send my best greetings and a lot of thanks to Anna Lauter, who is the program director of the Patrimony's grant program. I would also like to highlight the importance of Alhaji Bakari Kepa-Sidibe, without whom we were not able to digitize anything, because he has built up this archive, he has followed the work and guided many, many researchers for a very long time, and I'm saying explicitly researchers from Europe, from the US, but also from the Gambia. So without his valuable work, we would not have this kind of archive, and he's really, I would say, still the most important person in the project, although he has not much to do with digitization. Personally, I would also to express my gratitude to the former director, Baba Cissé, Baba Cissé. So I think he was really able to create a very nice atmosphere, and I really appreciate all his initiatives and his work during the first phase. And likewise, I'm looking forward to the cooperation with Hassum Cissé, who is unfortunately not here today, but I'm really positive that we will continue this good atmosphere and mode of cooperation. Let me also express my deepest gratitude to the Ncac staff, Siaka Fadera and now Sana Jaju, because without their guidance, without their help all the time, it would not have been possible. And without the dedication of the Ncac staff, we would not have reached the level we have reached now, which I will report in a minute. Finally, I want to thank Katrin Pfeiffer, who was really the one who initiated this whole digitization project. So she came up with the idea and she said, this is a very, very important archive. So you please help me to do this. And I must admit that I never expected that this is just such an interesting and valuable project. So I want to thank Katrin, Dr. Katrin Pfeiffer for this contribution. Okay, so I was asked just to give a small presentation on the state of the art, where we are now after phase one. So we have, let's say, I put that in percentages, I think we have finished to redigitize about 80% of the reels, which were really endangered because of the conditions. We have almost redigitized 1,700 tapes, which were not in a good condition before. Then a major task at the beginning was having a good catalog, because the catalog was spread over several versions. There was some paper cataloging, there was some databases, and right now, with a lot of initiative of the NCA staff, I would say that we are really in a good position to have a good overview on the holdings which are available here. With regard to the transcriptions and translations of the files, you know, that's very much essential to European researchers, because as you know, most documents are in the local languages, so researchers need translations and transcriptions in order to access the content. So there had been done a lot on that, but we will continue with this in phase 2. So I would also like to emphasize the importance of quality management, because we did not only redigitize many of the materials, but right now we also know much about the quality of the digitizations. So that had perhaps been a problem in previous problems, and I'm really proud to say that this problem has been settled during the first phase. Yes, so what's still left now is the implementation of the repository in order to make all this content available online to researchers, to the communities, to the teachers, to the curriculum developers. And now I may turn to the program of phase 2. So the major task of phase 2 will be to make this archive available. And not only available to international researchers, but available to distinct groups which may show an interest in the holdings. So that means we try to provide content to the communities, to school teachers who are interested in using the materials for their teachings. We also will provide high quality information for international researchers, to make them come to the Gambia and continue with further research. And this shall be done by the implementation of a repository. And I would also like to announce already that we will have a final symposium again, and we will invite many colleagues from all over the world in order to make a ceremony about this great project, and in order to celebrate the cultural heritage of the Gambia. So, thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm okay. Anyway, I could say all what I want to say in Mandinka, but I will not, because there's many many participants here who cannot speak Mandinka, so I'll continue in English.
Yeah, like Spanish.
Yeah, for example. I always try to teach in some Mandinka, but anyway, there's not too much to add to the value of the project. Just let me come back to what Sheikh Omar said already. That anyway, I know the Gambia since 1984, which is now 35 years. And the first time when I worked with, that time it was OHMAD.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. That was in 1989. So and that was the time when I learned about what it means to go to the field, do recordings, then take the recordings back to the archive, do transcriptions, do translations, put it on a paper and keep it in a safe place. So actually I'm observing the NCAC and the RDD since that time, and I'm so grateful that it was possible now to do the digitization project, because tapes and cassettes, you know, the material is not made to be kept forever. So I think it's high time that we do the digitization and have a good backup of all the work done so far. Of course, as Professor Schreiber said, I'm very grateful to the staff of the RDD, because they have to be very patient with me, as it was said, because I'm kind of I'm the quality manager of everything here. So whatever is produced, if it's whether it's an audio or a text scan or whatever, it goes through my hands or through my eyes, through my ears. So if they have to be patient if I criticized something during their work, but please keep on being patient, because as Professor Schreiber said, it's extremely important to produce quality. It's not necessary to to digitize as quick as possible, but as good as possible. So please keep it up with me, and I think I don't have to say more. Thank you for listening to all the audience, and thank you.
I would like to come to the final phase of the MOU. I've seen in the program in here, it says Sheikh Omar Diallo for NCAC and Professor Schreiber for the German partners. But I refuse that suggestion. In the presence of the chairman of the copyright research and documentation, why would I sign a document for him? Something that he will have to supervise. Something that he will have to make sure that it's properly implemented. If it is about dancing and singing and festivals, I will sign it. I'm more happy to sign those things, because that's my job. When you dance, I can say that's the best dancer. I can clap. That I can supervise. But why would I be supervising some academics and some researchers that are down there when the person is sitting? Mr. Professor, you're going to sign.
Just a second, yes. Well, he said what he thinks he wants to say. But the other thing there is that I'm a member of the board, and the board is above everything else. So if it's to sign to represent the board, as I did the last time, then that is acceptable. But certainly not as chair of the subcommittee.
Good.
I hope this clarification
is corrected.
Is necessary.
It's corrected.
And the German partners
would be Professor.
If they are agreeable to that, then of course I will gladly append for free my signature.
No problem.
Thank you. I just needed to make that.
That's endorsed, Professor. So I think we will go ahead with that. So he will be signing on behalf of the board and the NCAC as a whole, because that's the governing body for the NCAC. So with his presence in here, I think the signature will be even more credentialed by because it's going to still be under his mandate as well in the board to make sure he monitors this project and reports back to the board, if I am correct.
Yes, I do report.
So on that note, I would want to share the 4 copies, 2 for each side. The 2 sides as well?
No.
Okay. We can make it 2-2. That's 1. Beautiful.
There we are. May I, of course, extend
Yeah, two. I think it should be.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The 2 copies.
We're glad we can continue and we will deliver.
Yes. And
Can you exchange the 2 MOUs? So you have 2 and you give him 2.
All right, 2 each.
Yeah, you maintain 2 for him and then he gives you 2.
There we are.
okay, good. Thank you.
The staffs of the Research and Documentation Unit, the staffs of the National Center for Arts and Culture, especially for the Director for Finance and Admin, who has been expediting most of the things we have been enjoying here. I think I would like you to give him a little hand for that, because he has facilitated the beautiful food we've been eating in here and the little pocket monies that we are going home with. He's been facilitating that, and we are very thankful for that, Mr. Ronald Williams. And I would like to say also thank you to the partners who are here, who have left all the way Germany to be with us here to facilitate this workshop. I'm sure the information is being passed and the short work and skills they have transferred to you will be of essence to us. Not only to you, but to the country as a whole. Because now I think we will have a different perspective and a different way of using what is inside there. It will be different from how we used to do it. Now, we will use these informations and these strategies they have shown to us to make sure we are able to better deliver the services that we render in the Research and Documentation Unit in here. So I would like to say to the team, Esther, thank you very much for being here and for the little input and transfer you've done for us. Sirio, thank you for being in here. And last but not the least, of course, Catherine, you are part of us. We all say thank you again. We say Abaraka together. Let's say Abaraka together to Professor Henning Schreiber. We are saying together on that, and Prof, we are very thankful. And extend our thanks to the University of Hamburg as well. And to the, I cannot pronounce the German word, but I know it's Hegel Foundation. Goethe Hegel Foundation. So we are very thankful to them for making sure that we are given this opportunity, that we can be able to document our materials to a sphere that it can stay for time immemorial, and to also reduce the amount of press that researchers do have. And we are hopeful to see that these things can be done online, whereby people don't necessarily have to come all the way down to look at some of this information or some of these materials in their hard copies, but they can sit in their sweet homes by using just a suite of the electronic materials with whether it's Visa cards or whatever cards we are able to use, to sit there and then start making their researches from home, whether it's in the Gambia or outside of the Gambia. But we are very blessed to be part of this. And most importantly also to say to Professor Victor Odu, for taking his time, because this was not part of his program for today, but he had to cross across the line to make sure he attends it, because this is something that he has taken in his heart. If it was for drama or for music show, I'm sure he would not have been in here. But as long as it's something that goes along with academics, he's always ready to join the wagon. So maybe next time when I invite you for my festivals too, you can always come for the drumming and dancing as well. So I would say thank you very much, Prof. And let's give a big round of applause.
So that Gambians become fully aware of what is going on to promote their culture and their heritage. So it won't be enough to have just a paragraph somewhere tucked, away in a newspaper. You need to have full press briefing so that you can really document whatever you're going to put out there. You can serialize it, by the week or every other day, so that Gambians will be aware that this very critical project for posterity is going on, and that we have, by the grace of our German partners, we are able to do things that could be preserved for generations to come. So it's very important, your role in making sure that you put out this sort of information. Thank you.
On that note, I would like to say final thank you, and our doors are open. This project is already handed to you by a chairman of that area, which means you have the doors open to come and monitor what is happening in here. Come and see the documentations and get information as much as you want. I think our staffs will also be open enough to tell you what they are doing and to give you information that you need so that the flame gets on burning. The information will flow so that when Professor Henning Scriber sits on his internet in Germany, in Hamburg, he can see, oh, this is what is happening. Catherine doesn't have to send him all the reports to make sure that he knows exactly what is happening in here. But Professor Scriber can get information through the net, and especially those of you who are online, to make sure that you report and come in here every month. The door is open for you. You can come and investigate or ask for questions or interview and see the progress of work as we go along in the project. And as I say, on that note, I would like to close this ceremony at exactly 11:26. So it's exactly 30-minute ceremony instead of an hour. Thank you very much to all of you. Give a round of applause, please.